Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Carriers. I'm your host, Amy Castillo, Sales Director with Amwins Connect. Today we are going to be interviewing HealthNet, and I have Alyson Stone, Vice President of Small Group Sales, and Ray Gallagher, Vice President of Large Group and Major Accounts. So welcome guys. So Ray, let's start with you. Why don't you do a little introduction and let us know about your role here at HealthNet.
So, yeah, I've been at HealthNet in my current role for the last 2.5 years. Prior to that, I was actually a broker for 12 years. And I think that really kind of helps me bringing that perspective to this role and maybe trying to think a little bit about what brokers need and how we can best support and maybe even give them something to sell.
Awesome, fantastic. And Alyson, welcome back to HealthNet. So seeing that you're in this new leadership role at HealthNet, what would you say your focus and priorities are for small group in California?
Yeah, so great question. I came back to HealthNet about 3 months ago, and it's nice to be in this, what I call maybe a post-COVID environment in terms of being able to be out face-to-face and meeting with our broker partners and our general agent partners. That's definitely a priority right now, being out, telling our story, because I think we've got a great story to tell. So that's number one. Also, rate stability. We really want to continue on the trajectory that we're on. I'm proud to say that for the last 9 quarters, if you total up our rate changes over the last 9 quarters, our HMO totaled only a 0.3% and PPO just 2.5%. And if you actually look at the average of the rate changes over those quarters, it's less than 0.5% on both HMO and PPO. So, really proud of that, and I think it's important that the market understand that stability as they're looking for homes for clients that seem to be more apt to moving right now and making choices on new carriers. We are also looking at opportunities to enhance our online solutions, looking at our provider search tool to make some enhancements there. Our website, we're looking at updates there to make the navigation easier and more user-friendly. Those are the high priorities right now. Also working on sales enablement, so tools for the team to make sure that we are working as efficiently and effectively as we can.
Perfect. Well, I know, our partnership and our relationships with our field reps and our inside reps with your sales reps is by far, one of the best relationships that we have. And I think the tools and technologies that you're talking about and your focus and priorities fit, with everything that we have, with heat maps that shows, the percentage of changes by quarter. So, I think it's a great fit. So Ray, I hear some buzz in the market about some strategies that you and your team have come up with. Can you go into a little bit of detail in regards to those strategies?
Would love to. Really, as I said earlier, we're looking to help create opportunity. And the first opportunity we see is alongside Kaiser. Obviously, we all know that Kaiser's grown. We also know that a lot of markets are hesitant to be offered alongside Kaiser. We're actually withdrawing from some of those relationships. And we see that as a real opportunity for us to grow. Those accounts have performed well for us. And we also like our opportunities to grow those groups once we write the contract. So we're excited about that. Relative to some of the details, we're willing to go on an initial offer alongside Kaiser down to 10% participation or 25 contracts. And we also, when there's an existing slice situation, we'll work with lower participation requirements than almost all of our competitors. So we'd love to see those opportunities from your brokers. The other strategy is a vertical strategy. When I first got here, I really noticed that we had significant blocks of business within industries where our competition seems to kind of shy away from those opportunities, specifically construction, auto dealers, and retail. And we actually outperform from a market share perspective in those industries. We have unbelievable retention rates. We have low increases, and our premium on those accounts is somewhere between 20 to 30% below our overall book of business. So we're really competitive in that space. So we'd love to work with your brokers on being able to find those opportunities and grow their books of business or give them something to sell. So really excited to talk more about those opportunities with you and your teams.
Oh, very interesting. So can you go into a little bit more detail on how you honed in on those specific industries in regards to construction?
Those 3 industries really jumped out to me just because, one, those tend to be a challenging risk for a lot of other organizations. 2, we have a lot of those, And three, when I began to really dig into it, not only do they perform well for us, they perform well for our clients and our brokers. From that, I mean that the business stays with us. Our increases are very, very small on a year-over-year basis. The premium amounts, as I mentioned before, are considerably below what our average premium is for our book of business. And again, those are tough fixes for other organizations. That's because I think we have much more flexible underwriting guidelines that we bring to those opportunities. I think that we've got a lot of experience and understand the idiosyncrasies of those business. And we've got a long list of references that we can provide for clients and brokers as far as how well we engage those industries. So we really want to focus on our strengths, and that's a lot about what we're talking about at HealthNet right now, is leaning into what we're good at, leaning into where we're strong, and don't try to be something that we're not.
Well, we have a good audience that watch our Coffee with Carriers, and I think a lot of questions come up is, what is considered a good RFP in regards to submissions? Can you give us a little bit of information on, what would be considered a good RFP and kind of your turnaround times, especially going into Q4?
Great. Well, a good RFP gives us all the information that we're looking for. So we've got the census, we've got the experience, we've got the rate history, all those elements that we really need. And in fact, we're actually even willing to work with multiple years of rate history if sometimes we're waiting on the renewal. So again, great rate history is going to be really important to us, large claim information, but a complete RFP is going to be really important. If we have a complete RFP, even at peak time, we're turning those around in less than 10 days, which is pretty quick for a large group case. And I think right now our average going into the busy season is less than 5 days.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a perfect introduction to our peak season in small group. Alyson, can you give us any tips and tricks that brokers should know going into peak season?
Yeah, so heading into peak season, I mean, from a Q3 standpoint, we already look, really strong, very competitive, and I'm excited to share with you that in Q4, we actually are going to reduce our HMO rates by 3.6% on average, and do a rate pass for PPO. So this means that, across the state, we're going to see an average of HMO reduction of 3.6%. It can vary by, network and rating region and plan and metal tier, but we expect this to put us in just a really incredibly competitive position when we've already been there, right? So it's going to get even better. We continue to offer our HMO networks, 4 networks. You can offer them all alongside each other. So it's really difficult to not be able to find a solution with HealthNet for an employer group, and certainly a full group takeover with our PPO competitive position as well. So that's really exciting. Our flexible underwriting guidelines, we allow, no D, 9C with 5 or more subscribers enrolled. We're also allowing enrollees or employees enrolled with other carriers. That's now a valid waiver. So, we want to keep it really easy, really simple. We're streamlining some of our implementation processes to make the turnaround time on new business even faster. We've added scripts to our Salud network in San Diego. That has been a huge success for us, and that's going to get even more competitive in Q4. So we're really excited about what we've got to offer. I will also just reiterate, at HealthNet, every broker has an account manager. Our account management team does a fantastic job, led by Scott Schaefer, and again, a highly tenured team, an experienced team. So yeah, a lot of excitement around peak season.
All right, Alyson, why don't you let us know some broker incentives you have coming into Q4?
I would love to. So we have a Hawaii trip incentive going on. So for our top selling brokers during the time period of July of this year through January of 23, if they sell at least 250 members, they can qualify for the opportunity to win a trip to Hawaii. Now, ultimately, it'll be the top selling producers at the end of that period, but just 250 members to qualify. So that is a really exciting opportunity. It's a great trip. And then we also have 2 special commission programs going on. So for 9/1 effective dates or 9/15 effective dates, brokers can earn 6% commission for the life of the case if they sell a group with 6 or more subscribers enrolled. So it's a 20% lift in commission. And then for effective dates of 10/1 through 1/1, they can earn 6% commission for the life of the case for groups of 9 or more subscribers enrolled. So we're really excited about that. It's a great program, a great opportunity for brokers to earn more for their business. So.
Perfect. Well, thank you for sharing. And Ray, would there be any large group incentives for brokers?
Yeah, I mean, we're continuing our additional 2% of commission for the first year for all new cases. And I think that's actually one of the most competitive, richest incentive programs in the industry. And we also have the same Hawaii trip too, which is an amazing trip. And I think every broker should be killing to go on that.
So Alyson, why don't you tell us a little bit about hobbies or interests that you have outside of work?
So my hobbies are my kids and my dog. I have a 11-year-old son, Max, and a 9-year-old daughter, Sienna. And Max keeps us busy on the baseball field. He's in travel ball, so we spend a lot of time with baseball. And my daughter with her gymnastics and our Visla at the dog park. That is basically where you'd find me after hours. And about a year ago, we moved down to Orange County, so we're trying to spend more time at the beach. Well, I'd say that probably rounds it up right now.
Nice. Well, the weather's wonderful down here. Family's very important to me as well. So Ray, do you have any hobbies and interests outside of work?
Well, again, I've got 5 kids. So thankfully a number of them are out of the house. My free time is happily consumed with my kids. I've got, a daughter in graduate school in Philadelphia. I've got a son that just finished his football career. Excited to see what he does next. And I've got a daughter who's in DC who's selling, which I love to hear that. And I've also got 2 identical twin little girls, almost 8 years old.
Perfect. So, I started a leadership program here at Amwins, and one of the things, I've always been interested in is how do people get in the industry? So, can you share a little bit about how you guys both got into the industry?
Sure, I can go first if that works.
Yeah, great.
Randomly, which I'm sure is like others, but so I was out of college working in the entertainment industry, and I moved from LA back to New Jersey where I was born for a job in entertainment, and it fell through literally the day that I got home. So the following day I started a temp position at what was HealthNet of the Northeast. Back in New Jersey. So that the rest is history, as they say.
Well, unlike Alyson, I spent my entire life preparing for a career in insurance, which was why I was like an English and political science major, and was deemed to be generally unemployable by all their industries, and had some family relationships that got me in the business. And I actually originally started as an underwriter, but I was quickly shuffled off to the sales organization. And I love selling. I mean, actually, one of the reasons why I came back to the carrier side of the business is I love to sell. And, thankfully, we're starting to sell a lot over at HealthNet, so we're having a lot of fun.
Ray, I guess our last question for you would be why HealthNet and why now?
Well, business really drives on 4 considerations: price, provider, product, and perception. From a price perspective, I think that we've been the most consistently competitive organization in the marketplace going on in the last 3 years. While others have been very, very aggressive, probably unreasonably aggressive, and have backed off, we have been very competitive, and we will continue to be competitive because of our discipline from a pricing perspective. From a provider standpoint, Alyson highlighted the great stuff that we're doing with Scripps and other network expansions. We've been very stable. We're going to continue to grow from a provider perspective. From a product standpoint, opportunities that allow us to put our best foot forward, to do what we do well, tailored networks, managed care alongside PPO or stuff like that, we're going to be competitive. We're going to be a great option for those. And then perception. I mean, probably the worst kept secret is what an amazing job we're doing from a service standpoint. A number of national and regional surveys have ranked the service that from an operations perspective we're delivering. And Alyson again talked about the tenure of our team. I mean, what flows through all those other pillars as well as perception is our people. I mean, we have probably the most tenured team in the marketplace that has built strong relationships with brokers. And I think, again, if you work with us once, you're going to want to write more business with us.
Well, thank you again. I think we about hit our time now. And I just want to say thank you for joining us with Coffee with Carriers.
Thanks so much.
Hey, thank you. I heard that I was going to be allowed to keep this cup. Is that the truth?
That is true. You
Okay.
can use
I
it
think
for
we're on
coffee,
camera here, so all right.
soup, whatever you like. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on CWC. We'll see you next time.